So apparently the Netflix buying Warner Brothers is a lot bigger deal than you think. Way bigger than I thought. Hi, Charles. How are we?
Oh, that's what it would sound like if I was being drained by a Dementor. Also, just now realized that this is pretty zoomed in. You weren't meant to see Charles that up close and personal. Netflix just bought Warner Bros. 82.7 billion clams. That is disastrous.
It's done. That's it. They bought it.
I think it's terrible. You saw the news as well? That's right. Netflix now owns Warner Bros.
Look at the poochies!
Can you believe that shit? I know. That was the last thing I...
Oh, bro, that dog is beautiful. I would love to own a dog, a husky. I would love to. But they are so goddamn expensive, and they are high maintenance animals. I would never own one for that reason. I know that I could never take care of an animal like that. But they are gorgeous animals.
I was expecting to... what are you celebrating for? No, this is bad. Hey. You're preaching to the choir. I'm not excited about it either. Yeah, well, your sister seems to think it's not that big a deal. You tell her, not me. Had a long discussion on stream about it. We are entering the era where a few companies will own literally everything. And some people are actually welcoming it with open arms and open cheeks.
That's because they're retards. That's because they're literally fucking retards. They're fucking Tylenol babies.
To preach about like why it's actually good for consumers for
What a fucking moron.
monopolies to exist, which is crazy that we've reached this point. But there is so much corporate cocksucking now. It's become very.
I don't understand it. I have never understood why people sucked corporate dick, dude. I have never understood it. Like, you in here in the same place I am. How are you sucking the dick too? Like, what? How fucking dumb do you have to be?
Common that people will actually argue against their own interests here in the market.
They do. That's the funny part. They're so fucking stupid. They argue their own interests. I remember once I was sitting down in Walmart, right? And whenever I was working at Walmart, and I started talking about unions at Walmart, and the lady, she was an older lady, was like, oh, you don't want a union. Unions are bad. They always take your money. And I'm like, you do realize that it makes you harder to get fired, right? Like, she's an older lady, like in her like 70s, and she worked at Walmart, right? And I was like, you do know that unions are there for your protection, right? That you pay your union dues, and they make sure that you get water and lunches, and they also make sure that you get you don't get terminated for no reason. Like, they're willing to go to court on your behalf. And then she just kind of like was shocked. And then she got up and sat somewhere else. And I was like, what the fuck was that about? Are you that interested in going against your own best interest? Like, how dim do you have to be?
We're seeing this happen in pretty much every sector where some of the giants, the Goliaths in the industries, will buy up some of the other behemoths. So that way they become one absolute mega corporation which owns so much.
There are so many companies that Netflix already owned. The list is insane. They own CNN, they own a lot. And now they own Warner Brothers, which Warner Brothers owns a shitload too.
Of it. So it makes it a less competitive space, which means there is less incentive for these companies to listen to consumers.
And that's the trick of it. They buy up everything, and then they can make the prices whatever the fuck they want.
And make quality products because you're not going anywhere.
How many of these companies have you noticed that have like Walmart either has somebody that owns it or owns a lot of products that they put in their store? Guess what? That's the reason why all these prices are skyrocketing. It's because they own everything. They have no competition. They own everything, so they set their own prices. A small store is set up in a town, right? A small little like a family-owned business, right? And then a Walmart pops up the road, and then eventually more and more people go to the Walmart because they set the prices lower than and they brag about how they do this. Walmart sets the prices lower than the home competitor can compete with. The competitor, the home one, or the family-run business gets shut down, and then they have a monopoly in the area, and then they raise their prices to double what that store was doing before. That's what they do. They've done this for decades.
Where anyway, they have everything. It's a bad deal for your average Joe Schmo because the companies will be financially butt-fucking you with no remorse because what are you going to do about it? They have all of the other products. Like, it's bad. The only rare exception, the only unicorn in this objective truth is Steam, which I just made a whole video on, where Steam does have a de facto monopoly on PC gaming. It just has so much of the market on PC gaming. But it's not because it ever, like, performed any monopolistic tactics or anything like that. It got that position because it is literally just the best at what it does. Yep. All of the other options, all of the competitors are just significantly shittier, scummier, and a worse deal for consumers, so people willingly just choose Steam. Even though there is competition, most people flock to Steam because it is just the actual best. But on the whole, monopolies are very bad for you and me and everybody else. Now, in the case of Netflix specifically, I am shocked anyone is pumping their fist about it. That makes no sense to me, considering the quality of Netflix originals is so
They're so bad. The Netflix originals were good whenever they first came out, but now they're just slop.
For the place, but I would argue mainly bad. Like, you will get fucking 5 seasons of Big Mouth, irredeemable trash, coupled with a lot of other Netflix originals you've probably never heard of. Instead, focus on, like, so it's not to say,
Netflix
like,
to me has always been garbage. I know that that's kind of a little bit of a hot take, but I don't think I've ever logged into Netflix and saw something that I was like, oh, dude, I gotta watch that right now. Like, I've had that experience with HBO whenever I, like, go into the category and I see a movie that, like, recently came out and is already in the catalog. I'm like, oh, fuck yeah. But, like,
Warner Bros.
I've never had that experience with Netflix. I have never, in the entire time Netflix has been around. I remember when Netflix was Redbox. And, like, I have never had that experience.
And they've done a fine job of that themselves with how much trash they've had recently. But Netflix, I don't think is going to make it any better. Like, I don't think they're going to steer the ship more effective of it. You think Netflix buying Warner Bros. Is a good or bad move? Oh, I hate it. I super hate it. But this is the way the world is going, where a couple of companies are going to own everything in sectors. It's just the way it is, unfortunately. An $82.7 billion acquisition. I also think this is now not the first, but the largest step in the death of movie theaters. Obviously,
I don't know why we still have movie theaters. Movie theaters are way too expensive to go to. The concessions are overpriced to shit. They need to get rid of movie theaters, and they need to do this shit digitally now. We did it during COVID. Why can't we just have that permanently? Seriously, like, it's so stupid. I feel like drive-in theaters would be better even, because, like, then you don't have to worry about anyone annoying the shit out of you with their loud crap.
With Netflix owning Warner Bros., the movies are going to be hitting Netflix. I can't imagine they're going to be investing heavily into, like, a theater experience. So I think movie theaters are probably going to start being phased out over the next decade or so. Which makes me pretty upset, because I really like the movie theater experience. But it's just never going to be able to...
I'm happy for you, Mr. Millionaire, that you can go to the movies like that. Most people can't. They're too expensive.
With the convenience of seeing the new movies from your own home, everyone's going to choose that now anyway, especially with Netflix going to most likely be putting all the...
I'm not gonna lie, though. I love to go into the movie theaters. It's great to get out of the house. You can, you can literally turn your brain off from work. It's great. But it's way too expensive. It's way too expensive. There's no reason why a fucking large drink is $20 fucking. There's no fucking need for that.
Bros releases on streaming.
And then they keep you from bringing in your own stuff. Well, fuck you.
Instead of in theaters. So I struggle to think of any positives. Chatter that mentioned that now Netflix owns the Nemesis system, which is a video game patent that Warner Bros. Had fucking kegeled for the last like decade and done nothing with. The Nemesis system is from Shadow of War, Shadow of Mordor. Really, really fun gameplay mechanics. Love it. People have been wanting it for years. Warner Bros. Does nothing with it. Netflix owning it means it'll probably never see the light of day, because Netflix just canned their entire gaming division only like a year ago. So you're not ever going to see the Nemesis system and anything gaming adjacent that Warner Bros. Has had. They probably won't be doing anything with, would be my guess. They print money. They have like the DC gaming rights as well, if I remember correctly. So they're going to keep pumping those. 100%. They're buying WB Games as well. It's everything Warner Bros., right? From what I was reading, they own literally everything Warner Bros. Owns, unless I've got incorrect information.
Damn, that is crazy. Let me get a list real quick. What all did Warner Brothers acquire? Hold on. What all did Netflix acquire whenever they took Warner Brothers? Oh fuck, they own HBO now. On like a list. Give me a list. Bro, they got all the HBO assets too. I didn't know that Warner Brothers had HBO. Holy shit. Okay. So Netflix now owns The Boondocks, Adventure Time, Sex and the City, Final Destination, Cartoon Network, Game of Thrones, Singing in the Rain, The Powerpuff Girls, A Clockwork Orange, I don't know what the fuck that is, The Big Bang Theory, Minecraft, film rights, Courage the Cowardly Dog, TCM, Turner Classic Movies, The Wizard of Oz, original film, Dune 3, only distribution rights, The Lord of the Rings, film rights, every TT Games made logo game, Monsterverse, only distribution rights, WB Games, Warner Brothers games, including TT Games and Nether RR? I don't know what that is. Friends, Oceans, which is like Ocean 11, Ocean 12 movies, Gremlins, Evil Dead, Mad Max, The Matrix, Beetlejuice, DC Comics, Adult Swim, Tom and Jerry, The Jetsons, Casablanca, Harry Potter, Citizens Kane, The Goonies, Scooby-Doo, Rick and Morty, Johnny Bravo, Looney Tunes, The Hangover, The Conjuring, The Sopranos, Robot Chicken, Mortal Kombat, HBO Max, Smiling Friends, The Flintstones, The Boondocks, that's on here twice. And Adventure Time is on here twice as well. They own all of that now.
It's an $82.7 billion acquisition. I'm so fucking excited. It's everything in one place. They will continue like we have this opposition to movies in theaters. My pushback has been mostly in the fact of the long exclusive windows, which we don't really think are that consumer friendly. He said, AMC and other chains are looking to reestablish a 30 or 45-day window to energize movie-going that dwindled during COVID. Biggest chains often won't run Netflix films with truncated windows. The entertainment community and movie theaters in particular have been immensely jittery at this corporate combination given the streamer's short window, if any, as they cater to their streaming audience. Exhibition's biggest trade group, Cinema United, came out with a blunt statement this morning opposing the merger, saying, the proposed acquisition of Warner Bros. By Netflix poses an unprecedented threat to the global exhibition business. I mean, he's not wrong. The negative impact of this acquisition will impact theaters from the biggest circuits to one-screen independents in small towns in the United States and around the world. Cinema United stands ready to support industry changes that lead to increased movie production and give consumers more opportunities to enjoy a day at the local theater, but Netflix's stated business model does not support theatrical exhibition. In fact, it's the opposite. Regulators must look closely at the specifics of this proposed transaction and understand the negative impact it will have on consumers, exhibition, and the entertainment industry. Yep, so, okay, looks like they will be putting them in theaters for a very short period of time. Then to streaming. Do we know if they own Cartoon Network Studios, and Adult Swim, or does Discovery
They do.
own
They
it?
own it all.
Confusing things regarding it. Again, as I understand it, they own everything that was under the Warner Bros. Umbrella, so that includes things like Cartoon Network and shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
Again, that's just what I was reading. I could be wrong. It's all pretty fresh. I did read, though, that they might not have all the cable assets. And if that's the case, then they wouldn't have Cartoon Network, I don't think.
They have it. They have it all.
Getting their cable assets. A source close to Paramount said the company, which didn't have visibility into Netflix's offer until Friday morning, legitimately thinks it made the best bid and is currently exploring next steps. An operative word is patience. Cringe. Paramount also thinks its offer could look even better when the Comcast cable network spinoff begins trading later this month. It would serve as a market comparison to Warner Bros. Discovery stub that Netflix will leave behind. Paramount's lawyers have questioned the fairness and adequacy of the sale process, which kicked off after Paramount already had submitted 3 unsolicited offers. In a letter to the board, Paramount said the auction was tainted by management conflicts, including certain members of management's potential personal interests in post-transaction roles and compensation as a result of the economic incentives embedded in recent amendments to employment arrangements. That just sounds like fucking gobbledygook from Sore Loser there. It underscored concerns of board director bias towards a Netflix bid without considering heightened regulatory risk and potential value of a full bid versus a partial asset bid. That's a who cares moment, I would say, if you're on like the Netflix board, if you're more biased, or if you're on the Warner Bros. Board, if you're more biased towards Netflix, I guess. Not illegal to prefer Netflix over Paramount. Unless there is some kind of like legality to it, which I would be surprised. Worth mentioning, Paramount received help from Saudi Arabia.
That's just crazy that they own all that now. They own HBO. There's a good chance that like HBO could no longer be a thing within the next 5 months, guys. They could probably discontinue HBO altogether. Wouldn't that be kind of crazy? They would just like make all the HBO stuff go into Netflix. Like, that's crazy.
Who has been arrested.
Wouldn't that be kind of nice to have all that shit together, though? Not having to pay all those separate subscriptions, but it's going to be so much money.